Hello everybody, we're back again in the testing chamber, this time to bring you an SOCR outsider build. So if you want to have a power surge build but don't have outer space, this is going to be a great option. A lot of people have requested this, so I thought I'd build it and let's get into it. So obviously the weapon, the SOCR outsider, we're using precision style, giving us plus 20 attack, plus range, minus fire rate. And we're running crit rate, and we'll discuss this now. So let's have a look at how the weapon works. So you've got a 35% chance to trigger power surge when hitting an enemy. Crit hits increase the chance of triggering power surge by 30% based on weapons trigger chance for 3 seconds. And then you have a flat 30% chance of triggering power surge based on the trigger weapon chance. So a lot of people build this kind of the wrong way. They build it as a crit based build, which is probably the worst way to do it. If you read it, so the crit hits grant you plus 30% based on weapon chance for 3 seconds. So that means you only really need to be hitting 1 crit every 3 seconds to get your bonus and keep it up. So there's no real point in having massive crit rate. You only need enough to sustain that. So you've got a fire rate of 515, so you're firing 515 bullets per minute. So you just need to make sure that you're doing basically 1 crit every 3 seconds. If you're looking at around 15 to 18% crit is probably the sweet spot. You don't want to be going too mad. So just having a double crit rate on your weapon is probably going to be enough to keep that buff up and keep getting those crits. So that's the main weapon. Secondary, we're using the bullseye. And for melee, we're using the long axe bullseye, obviously just for the vulnerability. Long axe for the fortress warfare. So let's go into the mods. Again, very similar to the outer space build. So static shock. So you're getting the bonus power surge damage. We don't care about the actual effect duration. We just want that extra damage. And on the bullseye, vulnerability amplifier, obviously. And on the axe, doesn't really matter. We've got a final territory, but honestly, doesn't really matter on the axe. You're not going to be using it. You're only going to be using it to trigger the actual effect. So if we go into the armor, so we're using the key piece Mayfly goggles, power surge trigger count +1. So whenever you get 1 hit, it makes it 2, which synergizes very well with something else. I'll show you in a second. We've got 4-piece shelterer. That just stack up those deviant stacks, get that 30% extra. It's just, yeah, you have to do it. So for our 1 piece, we're going to go for the Lone Wolf jacket on this, just giving us that extra magazine capacity. Because again, Bastile's fine, but we're not really relying on weapon damage, we're relying on the surge damage. So having that extra mag capacity, those extra few bullets, it's kind of nice. But honestly, you could probably put something else in there. It doesn't really matter. On to the mods. So we're going Deviation Expert Talents. You get your extra fire rate, you get your extra status damage, very nice. Again, you want all of these suffixed with talent, so you can get your elemental damage up. Shelterer Mask, we're using Thunderclap. After triggering it 20 times, the next hit summons Celestial Thundershock, which does big damage, but obviously because you've got the Mayfly goggles, 1 hit counts as 2 hits, so you only actually need to trigger the power surge 10 times for this to happen. Lone Wolf Jacket, using the Flame Resonance. It's a blue mod, but it's the only combat focused mod. All the gold top mods are very defensive, give you buffs when you heal or things like that. So if you've got one with good substats, you can definitely use that. But I chose to go for the damage, get the status damage, just get that buff. On the pants, we're using status amplification, so when mag's empty, status damage +10 for 12 seconds, effect can stack up 3 times. You could always run something like Bullet Siphon, so weapon damage +5%, every 5 bullets consumed in the mag, grants +4 weapon damage, capped at 20. So, you know, it's not too bad, but I like using status amplification. On the gloves, we're using Elemental Overload, again, just plus flat 18% elemental damage. You could use the 20% status damage if you want. There's not much in between them. It really comes down to which of your mods has the better substats. So for example, on this I've got elemental damage and status damage up, so we're using these. And for the shoes, covered advanced. Every build uses covered advanced. It's just flat out the best shoe mod. When you take no damage for 4 seconds, you grant plus 20% melee, weapon and status damage for 30 seconds. And again, it's talent. So let's go into some little damage numbers. Again, I'm not going to be using food buffs or anything like that. This is just flat base damage that you're likely to do. So your rotation is going to be swing with axe, shoot with sniper, and unload your clips. So let's just reload this. So we go axe, animation cancel, into that, and then unload. So this, it doesn't do quite as much as the outer space, but it's still very respectable damage. We're still getting up to like 2,000 per tick on the power surge, about 7,500 on the Celestial Thunder. And again, at mid-range, you're going to be doing similar numbers, because shock isn't affected by range. And then long range, obviously it's harder to hit the weak spots, but if you just aim for center mass, you're still going to get the shock damage. It's great. So let's have a look at the Cradle, and again it's going to be very, very similar. So we're looking at automatic weapon enhancement, plus 20 damage, plus 20% damage when holding rifles. Advantage barrier, hitting weak spots or reloading grants a shield equal to 30% max HP while shields are active. Reduce weapon damage incoming. Just survivability, you're going to be hitting weak spots. You're going to be doing great things. Deviation master, while a deviation is present, damage against great ones, plus 25%. Attack combo, weapon damage plus 25% after 4 seconds with switching or reloading. You're going to be switching weapons to go axe, sniper, DPS every so often, so although we're not reloading as much as the outer space build, this still does give us a bit of an advantage. But transient impact, defeating an enemy, power surge damage plus 25, and shock elemental damage plus 18 is very nice. Got status enhancement, after hitting a weak spot, which we're going to try and do a lot. Status damage plus 25%. First round blast, after reloading, instant damage plus 25% for 4 seconds. And finally, steady hand, just while we're in that fortress warfare, getting a little bit extra weak spot and bullseye damage. So there we have it. I don't think I've missed anything. If I have, please berate me in the comments. And thank you everyone for your support. And don't forget, I do stream Monday, Wednesday, Saturdays here on YouTube and over on Twitch, 9:30 PM UK time. And I will see you all very soon. Take care. Goodbye.